Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be going through some awesome ancient and world coins that I just got in. Today we got a cool FedEx package, and we're going to take it open to see what's inside. So hopefully some great additions to my collection, to the kind of dealing inventory we've been working with, and I, again, can't wait to see what's going to be in there. And here we have the coins in front of us. I think it's a really nice mix, and I'm excited to just basically go, well, maybe we'll jump around a little bit more than I was going to say go century by century. The first group of coins is going to be predominantly Roman Republican denarii and a couple of quinari and maybe a few Roman Imperial technically from this time, but these would have been struck between about 200 BC and 45 BC when Julius Caesar had basically consolidated his rule, and probably the first imperial denarii would have been more along the lines of Octavian or Augustus, as he struck coins in 27 BC to 14 AD, but yeah, let's take a look. These would have been struck individually, generally by different money years, and was having some lighting issues there. But if we take a look at this coin, and on this one we can't see it too well, and these are fairly worn, but I think you can see TAS. Often that would be a money year's name, and so this was the Republic, so they weren't putting the Roman Emperor's name on the front of the coins. Here we have, I think, the Dioscuri, two horses. We see Roma, but they often would have money year's names, and let's try to find an example of that. Senatus Consulto, like struck by the authority of the Senate, further emphasizes that. And that one, it looks like, I think this is a C. Navius Balbus or something like that. And so, again, Roma driving a quadriga, or Victory driving a quadriga. There, it's like QU, and anyways, would be the intro point for people to get into Roman politics, because making good coins was a very important part of any good establishment. And there's CN, I think it's like Lentulus. And so anyways, I think that these are a really cool sample. There it looks like we have an altar theme, and then let's see if there's any other types that stand out here. I thought that I saw, as I was opening this up, oh, that's cool, I hadn't seen that one. It looks like a sheep on the back of it, which feels a little less common to me. And then this one is always cool. It's like on an aqueduct, or, it kind of looks like it. I thought that I saw one from Brutus. I'm not exactly sure where it was. I like this as a dual-headed one, Rufus. And this also is, I think, cute, like Sabinus. And I think that there's, anyways, interesting different mythologies often shown on a fair amount of the different coins. Here we see there are a few of the quinari, which would have been a half denarius. Still very fun, and I think that's a great start on the Republican front. But of course, we know what happens. Julius Caesar comes in, and there is imperial rule, and so we got a group of first and second century bronze coins from the Roman Republic. That would be a Hadrian coin, 117 to 138, Senatus Consulto, on the reverse. This one is going to be I want to say that this is even Nero. Super interesting. Beautiful bronze. I think that one's like an ass as opposed to a sestertius. That looks like Hadrian as well. Just really fun large planchet coins. That one might be, I think it says Claudius, that would make sense to me. A coin of Claudius. This one right here, Imp Caesar. That one could be Augustus himself from 27 to BC to 14 AD, Pontifex, and he might be mentioning, a specific commander or something like that. That one looks like Hadrian again. That could be a young Marcus Aurelius, which is very exciting. So super chunky, well detailed. I'm wondering if it's tooled or not, where basically the devices were enhanced a little bit. There's an Augustus type with the Providentia and an altar on the reverse. Still saying Senatus Consulto, struck by the authority of the Senate. That was more for the common people. That was definitely not the case at this stage. And so there's a bunch of other, that one looks like Antoninus Pius. That one's another Hadrian with a galley type on the reverse. And we really lucked out. I think that this was a great purchase. It's tough for me to find kind of nice, affordable coppers like this. If we just take one more handful, that looks like Nero. That one looks like, as Caesar, it's going to be Marcus Aurelius as Caesar again. Beautiful. Sestertius. Hadrian with an interesting reclining god. There's another Ooh, that one's pretty beat up on the back. It looks like something SAUG, something Libertas, something like that. Hadrian. That one I might not do quite as well on. This one's 3rd century Gordian III with, I think that's a Securitas reverse. Trajan, who expanded the empire from 98 to 117. This one looks like Commodus from 177 to 192. That one is Divus Augustus, and a super well detailed reverse on that one. Female ruler here, Faustina Augusta, and she would have been alongside Antoninus Pius. This is really insane. Looks kind of like Augustus, and then it seems like the reverse is brockaged, which so awesome to see a mint error like that on an old coin. A beautiful sestertius of Commodus. And then last but not least, I'm just going to call it out because I see it from afar. We have some of these halved. I think it's like Augustus and Agrippa or something like that. I'm forgetting exactly who it is, but they often have the coins. And there's a crocodile on the reverse, so we can see the body of the crocodile there. Very fun. Anyways, there are also some like not quite as much highlights. Like this is a little quadrans coin that's in real tough shape. So fun, though, on that front. Skipping forward, it looks like this group to my left here is a mixed group. Bunch of medieval coins. This one would have been from 1606 or so. That must have been, what, Henry the Fourth. Interesting French king. I need to learn more about exactly what was going on then. I think the Spanish had a really powerful armada, 1644, a little later on for Louis the 14th. And then we have a couple double tournois. In this example, 1618. This is the 13th as well, 1614. A Spanish cob. I think that this is like a 4 real, maybe 2 real. Definitely not 8. Hans Krawinkel is a German jeton maker, Nuremberg. These would have been more like accounting tokens. We have some other jetons that are more for ceremonial purposes later. 1652, that seems like a quarter écu, maybe a half écu, but and then we have Louis the 16th, 1792, right before he would have been, well, I'm pretty sure he was killed in that French Revolution. And while we mentioned jetons, here are a few of them. These are particularly nice looking, I would say. 1749. Flachat Lyon de la Chapelle. So 1763. Interesting. These were always cool because 1715, they did not have to conform to mass striking. Basically, they could have more interesting designs that were less approved because they weren't official circulating coins. So, Le Prévôt de M. Hughes. Let's see what that... Riverol. I'm not exactly... Lyon. I think that these are like Lyon jetons. And they're all pretty similar themes, but different dates. 1725. Prévôt, le Président du Cas. What is it? Yeah, Lyon again. So I think these are some kind of Lyon jeton. And then there's this one, 1714, Subitis Clemens. They often have Latin on them. And so there we can see, I'm not exactly sure who that would be. And then a nice, this could be silver, Consecratio Clementis Arch, something Colonensis. So let's see if it has a date. It doesn't appear to. Veni Dator Monerum, and we have what looks like a bishop and a cross and a bird or eagle. Fun little mix of jetons that I'm going to explore more about later. It does look like we have a selection of écu coinage on this side. These are French coins, Louis the 15th, 1745. A couple of them we can't tell. The mint 1726 A would be Paris. This one we don't quite have the mint mark. Maybe we could figure it out with a privy on the front. This is a later 1784 I mint. I want to say that's Limoges, but I forget. Earlier 1720s. That kind of looks like 1727 if you had to ask me. 1789. Let's see, 1789, 1785. So it's a good mix, but they're, really lustrous, nice écu. L mint mark on this Louis 1774. These are like revolutionary crowns and a heck of a lot cheaper than a lot of the other comparable crown size coins from the 1700s. So always interesting. 1768 there. What else do we have? 1767, 49 with an interesting, looks like a kind of little cow or goat mint mark. There's the 16th, 1781, 17. That one does not seem to have a date. Actually, I bet that we could deduce it. I think it's, well, tell me what you think it is. I think it's going to be some kind of something 8. It's the 16th, so I think it's got to be 1788. Could be 1778 though. And then this one also going to be, ooh, really worn away, but 84. So minted in Paris. Fun, nice chunk. You know, if you have that in your hand, you feel like a wealthy Frenchman of the 1700s. And then we had a couple of coins from a mixed group that was kind of interesting. Some interesting history here because it shows a lot of different time periods. 1792, I think that's going to be the 4th year, 1 décime, Louis XVI, kind of revolutionary phase, and they're coming off of the coup, I think, at that point, or about to. Then we go way further back to 1643 for a nice Ludovicus 13th, but then we also have a nice, I think this is Ceres type, 1870 France. This represents the time period that they had clawed away from their rule, as well as 1852. That would have been right after Louis Napoleon or Napoleon III seizes, and that's the nephew of Napoleon I, seizes power. We also have, this was used during the Revolution, and they reverted to its type during the 1848 to 1852 time period, as well as during the 1700s, but Hercules type, liberty, égalité, brotherhood, equality, kind of the French slogan, very classic. We have a larger 9 mint, 1659, larger Louis XIV piece. Let's see, we've got this 1793 with the scales of justice, a 1 sol coin, but clearly the French Republic, the second year, they've overthrown Louis the 16th at that point, and I think 17th, or no, maybe 17th is after. This is also the reign of the law, 3rd year of liberty. I think that's 1791, so not exactly sure specifically, but I think this would be done away with shortly thereafter with that regime change. And it's like a very short-lived French series, but actually in pretty nice condition there. We also see this one, 1876, 5 francs. Right here we have a 1695 Paris mint, Louis XIV, and then last but not least we have a Louis XV, smaller type, Île du Vent, Islands of Wind. No idea, maybe that's some kind of French colonial spot, which would be super fascinating, but I think we have a good, you know, I don't know. I have to go back and figure out what I paid for all of this. I know it wasn't cheap. I know like this pile cost, this pile cost something like 3,700 or maybe even 4,000, and so I'm hoping I'll be able to, I think I'll be able to make my money on it, because I'll probably sell, you know, as kind of a dealer collector, I'll seek to, you know, grade a good amount of it. I'll try to sell most of it, and then I can keep on hanging on to some of my favorite coins. That one's interesting. It looks like some kind of wolf prowling along. Anyways, this is going to be really fun to continue going through these, maybe flip a couple of them up for direct auctions in the not so distant future. And yeah, I mean, process, there's some stuff that I really didn't know how to explain particularly well. Like there was one other group of coins along with it that I'm still going to take a closer look at, but we got a bunch of medieval types. Some of them seem to be more like, you know, lower grade bronze coins. There also seem to be, you know, a couple of like nice medieval ones that are very identifiable. So I have to figure out exactly how to proceed. I didn't want to bog down the video explaining those because I really haven't done the IDs for them. But I'll look forward to keeping you updated as we get any exciting numismatic material in. I have a bunch of other stuff that I'm super pumped to unbox shortly. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to head on over to treasuretown.com and sign up for our email list to stay up to date on everything that's happening, whether it's auction updates, exciting new inventory drops, coin collecting news, or general informational resources. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on another one.